for today's cup of coffee, we have a story that I hope never happens to anybody that owns cats.
Well, this was a happy story because...
Yeah, it's not a horrible one. I'm not trying to be melodramatic about that. Nothing happened to the cat. So let's put it like that.
It's what it did to something.
And this is from Daily Mail, December the 1st of 2022, and is by Aneeta Bhole. And I will tell you, because this occurred in Wisconsin, and they have names that I'm not familiar with. So if I mispronounce them, it's not intentional.
Wisconsin is a weird place.
Well, they have names that are from someplace else. I don't know if they're Nordic or what exactly. Yeah, I speak mountain. That's it. It says an adorable black kitty in Wisconsin has stunned its owner by after proving he's the apex predator in the neighborhood after dragging an alligator head onto her lawn.
It's like, the fuck?
And Andy Weiselhugel was shocked when her cat Burnt Toast, which was a really cool name for the black cat.
People name their cats weird stuff.
It's not just
while with the dogs, like people are like Bradley or whatever the fuck else, you know.
But Burnt Toast, that was a cool name.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Burnt Toast brought home the unexpected find that neighbors first thought was a big fish. And Miss Wendy, we'll call her that, told Milwaukee Fox 6, quote, he was very proud of himself. I bent down and I'm like, that's not a northern or a fish. That's a gator. Quote. And so Wendy says that she thinks she may have seen the alligator on the lake near her home with her brother-in-law a few days before. I guess the whole thing. And so she quoted, he just laughed it off like, no, it's not a gator. And I'm like, yeah, it probably isn't one. And we just kind of dismissed it. And then this showed up, end quote. Baffled by the scaly surprise, Wendy called the Department of Natural Resources Conservation Warden Tim Aspenson, who said that a wildlife biologist would need to verify the head. And we'll show you a picture here.
They should have kept their mouth shut. They should have kept their mouth shut and got that shit taxidermied.
Well, that pretty damn well looks like an alligator to me, doesn't it, you? Not that we're experts on alligators, but we watched, was it Swamp People? We have watched enough episodes of Swamp People to identify an alligator.
I've watched more videos than that.
And so Aspenson said that he believes it is from an actual alligator, likely 3 foot long, as opposed to a souvenir head. And when I read that at first, I thought, okay, that the alligator head was 3 foot long, but he may have been referring to the entire length of the alligator, which would make more sense than cat dragging in a 3 foot alligator head.
Yeah.
So that makes...
That's not possible.
Well, they should have, when they did the picture, they should have put it beside something for reference, so that you would have known how large it actually was.
The blades of grass.
Well, yeah, I guess I should have thought about that too. He said he suspects the alligator could have been pet that escaped or was released into the wild, but couldn't be sure how it ended up without a body and in the jaws of Burnt Toast. Pictures of the alligator head show the top of the skull intact with scales and teeth grinning, but if turned upside down, the bottom jaw is detached and the insides of the skull appear to be missing. And we have that picture for you here.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like that, that it's been dead for a little while.
Yeah.
So it's not a fresh...
Yeah, that taxidermied.
Well, it looks like, insects, and it looks like it has been gnawed upon by something.
Yeah, taxidermy. That gives it more personality.
You think so? Yeah. It remains unclear how long this creature has been dead and bobbing in the Wisconsin County waterway. But Aspenson said that it was truly a very rare find and might not be the last.
No, it's not going to be the last.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
And Wendy was excited by the prospect that this could be a first find for the region, but worried what alligators in the lake might mean for summer.
Right.
And she said, quote, I was kind of excited at first because you could never see anything like this around here. And then I thought of the gravity of it and how awful it would be if it was out in the lake and if it was summertime and people were swimming. That's not cool, end quote. No, especially if it's like small children's, And
yeah, go on, little Johnny. Go on there a little further. You go get eaten by the alligator.
Let's don't. And in July, just over an hour north of Waukesha County.
Wow. This is where they filmed Pearl. Was
it really?
I don't know.
Oh, an alligator.
Pearl with the alligator.
An alligator was found at a lake in Fond du Lac County. I don't know why this shit. And the alligator found in Long Lake, at least I could say that one, was with J&R Aquatic Animal Rescue. Its director saying he believes it was a pet that escaped from its owner.
That's a big ass pet.
Why? Director John Moyles told Fox 11 News, quote, we are going to be holding this guy for about a week, and after that we're going to try to place him in a sanctuary where he can live out his days outdoors, end quote.
The alligator?
The other one that had escaped.
Oh.
So they did get that.
Okay.
You should have called the swamp people.
No.
They know that stuff.
They would have killed it.
Yes. DNR amphibian reptile biologist Rory Pulaski typically only gets one report a year of an alligator in Wisconsin and stated, quote, they are definitely not naturally occurring. They are not native to Wisconsin. There are always
No, that's a Florida thing.
Yeah, really. There are always going to be either captive escape pets or captive release pets that get into the lakes, end quote.
Nah.
If you buy something like that, deal with it.
Yeah.
Don't release it into the general populace.
You got it. You can't get rid of it now.
Right. And experts say the chances of an alligator
sell it to someone else
surviving a Wisconsin winter is very unlikely. Not impossible, but very unlikely. Pulaski said, quote, their thermal tolerance in Arkansas is about the furthest north that they can survive in cold winters, end quote. Pulaski said that there are two terms they use for species like the alligator found. He said one is non-native and one is invasive. For the alligator, I would classify them as non-native, not being a native species to Wisconsin. They shouldn't be here. They're not part of our natural landscape, end quote. Meanwhile, in September, in this other place,
I think it's pronounced Pelosi.
Kewaskum, reports of an alligator in the local family park were made to police. While an alligator was not found, DNR officials said the alligator, if there is one, could be a black, is it Cayman? I think it is, a Cayman alligator. Those are those little ones. Know. But now, they have a totally different snout.
Yeah, they got a snoot.
But they've got different than the alligators and stuff.
Yeah.
It was also mentioned that the alligator may have been raised domestically and then set free by its owner. Wisconsin has no laws keeping you from owning exotic animals, but the DNR says alligators like this aren't native here and could pose a threat. They've reminded people they shouldn't be released into the wild.
No shit. That's common sense.
Why would you have to tell people don't set this stuff free? Now, that is one thing. Virginia does have laws, and I'm not sure whether Tennessee has laws or not about exotic pets. Even here, if you can't have a possum, that's considered an exotic pet.
You can have a possum. You just have to have a permit.
Well, but still, I mean, Where do you get a possum permit?
You figure it out.
Oh. But there are always people who decide that they want to be badasses and I'm going to own this and I'm going to own that. And that's part of what happened down in Florida with pythons. And those things got out, and now they've got a hell of a problem with the pythons and monkeys. And the monkeys flinging the poo. Monkeys are mean. If you go on there and you can search out different videos, and some of them are just really aggressive.
Some of them are. And some of them are just the sweetest little beans.
They're monkeys. They're monkeys.
Have you seen the very, very tiny ones?
No, I haven't.
Tiny ones.
I knew somebody that had monkeys, and that was interesting. The monkeys need to be where they get out being monkeys. But with the alligators, that could be dangerous.
You build them a habitat.
And it's like where we do have different things shifting on our planet and stuff like that. You don't know that these things at some point will not be able to survive in Wisconsin.
They'll migrate wherever they can. Wherever is, habitable for them.
Right. But fish, they've got some kind of something that keeps them from freezing during winter.
They have been around since the fucking Ice Age.
Well, so have alligators. Those are very ancient species.
Yeah.
A very hardy species.
Living dinosaurs.
They are dinosaurs. Yeah. So we don't know that these things couldn't find their ways into something else.
No, they could. They can.
But it looks like, I don't know if, I'm sure that they have studied this as far as what happens to them in really cold areas. Do they just die?
I don't know.
I didn't look into all that.
Do they hibernate?
I don't think they do. Because they are primarily in Florida, Louisiana, some of those warmer
but they have to
places
do
here in the
something during
States.
the cold, because there are like alligators in cold climates.
Yeah, I mean, there's parts of Florida that they get snow and stuff, sort of like we do.
Yeah, so.
But I think like in the Everglades. That's one of the places. They probably have them, anywhere along that part of the country. I wonder if they have them near the Gulf of Mexico.
I don't know.
I don't either. But that's not something I would want in a waterway. I wouldn't want those caimans in there. Those are scary looking things. Like I said, they have a different snout.
Yeah.
But anything that has large protruding teeth. And I think that they have a bite. It's almost, the way that they bite is similar to a horse. That once it locks onto something, it has a certain point where it can open its mouth again. I had watched a video the other day.
Yeah, don't get bit by one.
Yeah,
don't stick your head or your hand where they are.
But as far as them
or your feet
being able to open their mouths, I've seen them where they put like a rubber band around their mouths, and they can't break the rubber band. It's a pretty thick rubber band.
It's like what they do with lobster claws when they're in the tanks.
Yeah.
There's this guy on YouTube who bought one from like a grocery store
Right.
and raised it as a pet.
Well, yeah, I can see that. If you had a large enough tank, but you would have to have a mighty tank.
Yeah.
To have a lobster.
He has a mighty tank, but it's
a happy lobster now.
It is a very happy lobster,
Okay.
except for when it molted.
Oh, ooh. Is it sort of like when the spiders molt?
Yeah, like the whole shell is like you got like it basically duplicated, like it's got
Ew.
old empty body shell.
And then things get grumpy when they molt.
Yeah, anybody.
I guess anything would. But I watched the video the other day. Never get too comfortable with any of these things. Never get overly confident with your abilities when you're dealing with any kind of an animal.
No shit.
But this guy, for whatever reason, had decided that it was a good idea to put his hand there in the alligator's mouth and acted surprised when he got bitten.
Yeah.
And he was squalling for somebody else to come and help him.
Yeah, but play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Absolutely. Or they were saying, fuck around, find out. Yeah. Which I like that one. I like that one a lot. We need a shirt that says that. But as far as kitty, all right, if it was a 3-foot long alligator.
Oh, it was a 3-foot long alligator.
So I would say that the head
was about like that big.
No, I know. I'd say that it was probably maybe about 12 inches or something like that.
It was a
maybe.
small head is what I'm getting.
Right. So, it wasn't impossible.
I mean, they should have kept it. Seriously, they should have kept it.
Well, I don't know that they didn't keep it.
If like wildlife people looked at it, they didn't keep it.
Well, they may have let him. They could have looked at it in the yard. They may not have taken it from them. But there are places that do sell these things. But I would say that if it had been taxidermied, that they could have told that.
Well, obviously it wasn't, but when they found it, it wasn't taxidermied. But I'm saying they should have got it taxidermied.
Because if it had been taxidermied, they do the eye thing where they replace the eyes and everything.
Yeah.
Because you studied that. He had a dream of going into taxidermy.
I love taxidermy.
I think you like the thought of taxidermy.
I love the thought. I love the product of taxidermy.
Well, and people get upset about the alligators and stuff like that. They're like any of these other animals. They need to be harvested.
Yeah.
Because if you don't,
then
they become
harvested, but
right. They become a threat to everything else.
Yeah.
Cats, dogs, small children's, anything.
Meemaw.
Now that's the pythons. My God, how many stories have we heard lately? There was a meemaw that got eat up not that long ago that we reported on.
Don't go to a farm where they have a lake out back and and there's just a dock.
Yeah.
No boat, just a dock. So you know what that means? They feed people to it.
Oh my God,
that'd be horrible. Just like in Pearl and X.
Oh, Lord. But now
old lady.
I think that the lady that had been swallowed by the python, I think that one was in Malaysia.
In X, the Pearl fed people and fed things and animals to the gator.
Well, I'd say that happens here periodically, but I think that hogs is more in America. People don't think about it. People don't want to think about it.
People here in America use gators or hogs.
Yeah, that's disturbing. But that's what we do. It's disturbing. But I have seen, as far as, I never wanted to own one, as far as when they sell the alligator heads and stuff, that they sort of creep me out.
I wouldn't mind owning one. Yeah. I thought we did at one point.
No, I never had an alligator head.
No.
There's just
something about it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I have difficulty when it's actual animal body parts. Not like the replicas of it. I don't know. It's just everybody's got their something.
Fake goth. You don't like actual taxidermy.
That has nothing to do with goth.
It does.
No.
It's literally part of the aesthetic.
Now, if it were the skeletal whatever, I would have less of a problem owning that than I would when it's still, like I said, like the alligator head. I don't want
to necklace.
Well, you had that, and I'm like, why?
But it was just a magnet.
Why? And it's like, that's the problem with taxidermy. It does not really last that long.
Oh, I just didn't take care of it.
I think, what do you have to do? Do you have to put like bug spray on it or something?
You have to do some sort of maintenance to it. I can't tell you.
Because they get mites. And that's nasty. The thought of, no. The skeleton of whatever, you don't have to worry about the mites.
No, you got to worry about marrow eating bugs.
Well, don't they usually boil the bones and stuff before, and that should get rid of the marrow. It should.
I don't know.
Well, you studied. You was the one that was a wannabe taxidermist.
How long ago was that?
I don't know. It's been a while. But as far as things that cats will gift you with, we have gone out on I always forget about it. Bird parts, rodent parts, the frog parts. And it's like, I always forget when it's warm weather to look before I step out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to.
Yeah.
And it's just, I have learned over the years to wear shoes all the time. Because cats, they will gift you with things.
Yeah.
And around here, as far as people who do have dogs, it is a very disturbing thing to see them dragging deer parts. The most disturbing being a rib cage.
That's the good thing about a Chihuahua. You don't got to worry about that shit. You got to worry about it in the house pissing itself.
Yeah,
because it got spooked.
Yeah. But that sort of freaks you out, and you're like, let's hope that's a deer. Let's hope that was a deer.
Me and BB saw a bone on the side. Well, I saw the bone, and I'm like, bone, and I stopped the car, and I'm like, get out and get it. And she's like, no, I ain't doing that. You don't know where it's been. I'm like, no, get it. Put it in a bag and get it.
No, don't make her touch that stuff. It's got bacteria on it.
You grab it with another bag, and then you put it in the other bag.
But he does. I have to watch him, because if it's a cat fresh kill, he will pick some things up by the tail and go, we could do a wet specimen. I'm like, put that down, take it to the ditch line. You're not bringing that, because you have to have boundaries.
It's a joke. It's joking. But I do pick it up by the tail, because that's the only way that you can grab that shit.
Yeah. Dustpan.
When you've got nothing but your hands and a glove.
That and water and a broom. So, lovely talk to have with your coffee, isn't it?
I want to go bed.
But with the alligator head, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Good for burnt toast. Is good kitty.
Good kitty. Big boy speak wisdoms.
So if you've had any experience with paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, odd, bizarre, anything.
Dear God.
Because we do that too.
Yes.
Then send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And the email address will be in the description box, as will the link to the article.
Yeah, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all, and have a good.
Know that you are loved, and we'll see you on the next cut. Bye.
Burnt toast is king.
Yeah.
Reptile king.
He's a good kitty.
Good kitty.
Yeah.